I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap. This has to be mounted back in place. I apologize you can't see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing right now is I'm getting these screws started. Alright, now I'm going to take my genuine Doing It Cheap feeler gauge, and we're going to stick it in here. We want to get it between the coil and the flywheel. Just like that. Now, I'm doing this in a place that's not on the magnet, because the magnet is not big enough to really, check the clearance all the way. Now, something I should have told y'all to do. Of course, it wasn't important when there wasn't a coil there, but by God, there's one there now. And something I should have told y'all to do was pull your spark plug. Well, I pulled a spark plug wire, that'll work. I'm just checking to make sure that wasn't going to scrape, and it did not, so we're all good there. Of course, you know what's going to happen when I go to start this thing. I ain't going to be able to understand why it won't start, and that's going to be because my spark plug wire is disconnected. All right. Right here is where I was talking. If I remember correctly, I may have to cut this shroud out. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this shroud out a little bit. Now, I could have paid an extra I could have paid an extra $20 or so, and I would have got another one of these red things with a hump on it. But I'm not interested in that. I'm just going to notch this. I'm just going to cut that out right there. And I'll keep cutting until I get it where it fits over the starter. I'll be back. So right there is why we cut that notch out.
Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 4 bolts back into the cover. I guess this is one advantage to having the gas tank and control panel out of the way. You can find a good location to put your ground wire. I would have never seen this spot here with all that other stuff in the way. So this is going to be where the negative side of the battery is tied. There we go. I realize that's a red wire. If that ain't the color wire you want on a negative post of the battery. But I marked it with a black magic marker. Alright. Well, I'm going to stick the gas tank back in it. If you don't learn anything else from me today, learn to get all your bolts started when you've got to think with your fingers, when you've got a piece of metal that you've got to bolt in place. Because if you put one bolt in it and get it good and tight, maybe that over here, maybe that corner over there ain't lined up. That's a helpful hint. PawPaw don't cost you nothing. Well, since I bought this for that table saw project, I sure have been using it. It's easier than an electric drill. It's not as bulky. Of course, a little impactor nice too. Okay, I got this vent hose. I got to hook back up. And fuel line. I'm going to turn the fuel valve on to allow gasoline to fill the line and all that. Because I do want to crank this over by hand before I get all buttoned up. I want to make, before I change my wiring to this, I want to make sure everything's good to go. I'm not going to let it run very long though, because I don't want to have to deal with a hot engine. Okay. Alright. I'm going to turn it on. Because I've got this wiring hooked back up. I'll turn it on. Choke it. Pull it to start. I told you I'd do it. I forgot to hook the spark plug wire back up. Oh. Okay, well, it runs good, starts easy. Now what I got to do is put my control panel back on and then connect my wiring. I'm not going to have y'all sit through the mundane chore of me sticking in 4 bolts. Okay, so we're back where we started. I wanted to bolt it all together because I wanted to try to figure out where would be the best place to put this switch. So I'm going to study on this a little bit and I'll get back to you. After much head scratching and pondering, sitting there looking at this big ass box, and the only thing in it is this little ass switch. Shit, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Well, it's going to be more work. I'm going to have to take this back off, but I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this key switch right there, because there's nothing behind there. There ain't nothing in the way, and that'll be out of the weather. The switch will be inside that instead of out here, so I'll be back. So as you can see, the front panel is where all the components are, and got all kinds of room here. So if I make sure that I stay downhill from that little light, drill in this area, we should have no problem at all. Now, as for the switch, then I need another hole for the wires to come out. So there's the switch, and there was actually a grommet included on that metal box, so I drilled a hole and run them wires through that grommet. Boy, ain't that slick. Alright, let's put this thing back together. So I believe I'll mount the low oil shut-off switch right there. Alright, gonna plug in some wires. Well, I'm going to stand here in front of this made in America, made in the USA automobile. It ain't full of parts from another country, I tell you that much right now. Hell, I don't even think they shipped anything from overseas in 1965. Anyway, speaking of made in America, make sure you check out www.gethappyhemp.com. All their CBD gummies are made right here in a good old USA, and that keeps PawPaw pain-free. I'm telling you, I feel good. Make sure you use the discount code DoingItCheap30. Save 30%. Y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for subscribing to my daddy's channel.